Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Nain's Shorts. Keep talking about training, and more training because, well, I don't know. I just really like training, I guess. But development that we have that we keep on working, keeping things sharp because, well, you stop using them, they kind of go dull. You can keep the mentality, but the physical stuff, you still got to work on for a long time to keep it fresh. And one of the many things that we do in the Blade of Mine is we train with weapons. Now, thing about bladed weapons specifically, every state has different laws regarding these things. So realistically speaking, whatever tools we're training with, are we actually going to use? Do we actually carry these things with us on a regular basis? Now, I don't know about your state, but definitely in this one, there really isn't a limit to the size of the fixed blade you carry as long as it's in the open, hanging from your waist. Perfectly legal to carry out in the open like that. Doesn't matter the size of the blade itself. Could be buoy, could be a smaller blade, could be an even larger buoy. But using the blade, whole different story now, because even brandishing the bladed weapon in any sort of menacing manner is technically illegal. And there's a lot of other fun blades and tools that are completely illegal to even carry here in California. So does it really make sense for us to keep on training how to use these tools that we are probably never going to have on hand to use in a self-defense kind of situation? And I guess the simple answer would be no. What would be the sense of it? We also don't carry around sticks other than when we're walking to and from class. So again, what sense does it make for us to train how to use these sticks or these weapons very, very well if we're not going to have them available when we need them? And I guess that could be true about any art. All the things that we train, how useful are they in the real world? And honestly, I can't answer that for you. I can only answer for what I know, and what I know is tools. Now, personally, I love blades. I always have. Even before I started training martial arts, it's just one of those things that I've always been into. And I like my collection of knives, and I like playing with them. And now that I know how to use them, even more so. But do I really know how to use them? Do I really carry around, or do I even have the live version of these blades? And I do not, but I do intend to have them. John, one day I will buy these, the real ones, because I got these from John Atkinson, the trainers, but he has the live versions of these, and I want them for no other reason than I just want them, because I'm not going to walk around with them on my belt. That would be very ridiculous, and it would draw a lot of attention. Now, we do have laws to carry folded blades of a certain size, as long as they're visible with the clip in your belt. If you keep them in your pocket or somewhere where you can't even see the clip, that's also illegal. So again, do we solely train with things that we can carry out in the open, or whatever your state rules are, whatever your laws are there, do you train with those things? Is that a consideration when we go into training? Because I personally like Japanese swords. I don't train them. I train them for a little bit, but it would be very ridiculous for me to walk around with a katana in my belt, because apparently it has to be in my belt. I couldn't carry it on my back according to the law, or at least that's how I understood it. So it would have to be in my belt, and that just seems a little too much attention that I don't need. And not to mention, the moment I brandish it in self-defense, that is technically a menacing manner. So yeah, that doesn't really help. Even blunted tools like weighted sticks or that sort of thing, canes, they're not the most legal. Anything that's hidden inside those tools, illegal. So we train with them, but are they useful? And from what I've been told, no, that doesn't seem like it makes any sense. But yet, in the bladed mind, we continue using sticks, we continue using blades. And the question is, why? We do consider ourselves a weapon-based system, but we don't actually go around using these weapons. So can you truly say that that's what we are? And conceptually, no, because that's actually what we use the tools for, is the concepts that we can learn from them, the ideas that we can then interpret into what we're going to carry more often than not, and I would say 99% of the time, are empty hands. That's what we're going to use. That's what we're going to have most readily available. So it doesn't make sense to us to learn a bunch of different drills on how to swing a stick or even the knives if we're not going to have them. But then what use are they? And it's a lot of fun to explore the possibilities that come with it, because one, it is fun training with weapons. It just is. I enjoy it. Most people that do enjoy it just as much. But again, the usefulness is transferring or converting those ideas into something that's going to be empty hand. Well, the very first thing that we teach our students is, well, what are the components of this blade? What are the parts to it? And you have the butt, you have the tip, you have the blade, you have the blunted backside, or depending on the type of blade, maybe another sharp side, and you have the flats of it as well. This becomes important to us because now all of a sudden, in order to use all these different parts of the tool, we have to understand the mechanics and the movements that would require to be able to utilize them. For hitting with the flat side, those are our watiks. For hitting with the backside, those are back strikes or a backslash. To get behind the weapon, other usefuls for it. Thrust, of course, which then, what does that all relate to? Well, your empty hands do the same movements. Oh, that's a hammer fist. Chops. You see these in many martial arts, many empty-handed martial arts. Oh, you use the back of the hand. Oh, that's your parry, that's your place, that's your outside block. All of a sudden, the arm itself has the same components as the blade. You have knife's edge, you hear it all the time. A punch is essentially just a thrust, and depending on what knuckle you're hitting with, that's your point of contact or the tip of the weapon. Not to mention, you also use elbows. Oh, well, if you look at the structure of the arm itself, from the elbow to the tip of the fingers or even the knuckle, well, there's your tip, there's your butt. You see all these strikes being used all the time, but we don't really consider them as the bladed weapon. They're a completely separate component, and for us, or at least the way that I was taught, is that they're all one and the same. Understanding the tool and where to place it, where you're keeping it, also gives you an understanding of the tool that actually drives those things, which is your hands, your arms, and eventually your entire body. Because as you play with tools, you're not just learning how to swing and how to use them properly, but you're learning how to range and keep out of the danger of those weapons themselves. What is the most effective range? Where can they hurt you the most? So where can you put yourself where it's going to be less detrimental to you? And in a fight, as of recent, we've had this conversation in some of our classes, is we as humans instinctively want to get completely away from something that's dangerous. But in a fight, you're already in that situation. You've already exhausted every other possibility of getting away, and now you're there. And if all you do is try to stay away, well, at which point can you take advantage and become the threat? At which point can you cause enough damage or pain to the individual so they stop trying to hurt you? And the only way to do that is to be close enough to actually accomplish that. So on top of that, not only are we learning where are the safe zones, where we can avoid this hand, which is most likely what we're going to encounter, an empty hand, a fist, somebody swinging a haymaker, or whatever other punch names that you have, you're also understanding how to utilize your mechanics at a closer range. Because as you get past that fist, you are now at close range to your opponent. And if you know what to do in that range, then you can be very effective. Rick, I actually would love to have you for this part of it. Because again, visuals work. Here you go.
Hello,
Sweet.
everybody.
So playing with blades, pop, pop, just hitting weapons, that's not going to do anything. So one of the first things that we learned when playing with weapons, you don't really attack the weapon, you attack that hand, you take care of that so you can move on to the body. So what does that mean when he has a weapon? I'm still attacking this or attacking him. I need to get past the point where this is dangerous, and most of the time, if I have no space behind me, this is the safer place to be. But now, all of a sudden, I am at close range. This weapon may be useless to him now because he doesn't have the space to, but I have all the other components to my weapon to be able to utilize and within a tight space, which is a lot of fun. No, let's not do that. But again, the likelihood of being attacked with a weapon like that, well, I'm pretty sure a region of the country would make kind of a difference in that. But here in California, not very likely. A blade, smaller, perhaps. But at the end of the day, this is the part that drives it. So if I understand that he throws whatever he wants, I just have to make sure I put myself in a place where that's no longer a threat, or remove it altogether and go for what's actually going to be harmful. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And all this stuff I learned stupid. And all this stuff I learned through concepts about using blades themselves, and even the sticks, of being able to develop the mechanics that go along with it, being able to understand the space, being able to understand what truly drives any tool in any hand, and how to make sure that it stops doing so. Now, those are just the broad strokes. There are so many other things that we can interpret and infer from training with weapons that we continue to teach our students, that I continue to learn and discover along the way. Because even the way that we rotate from, let's say, the back of the blade to the front, which is parrying and then cutting. How does that translate into movement with the hand? How do you develop power in that small motion? All these things, as you dive deeper and deeper into the way that we actually use these tools, use them to train, and then transfer that into empty hands. There's a lot that can be learned, and for us, it's not about learning how to use the tools or the weapons. It's about what we can gather from them, the concepts and ideas that we can develop through them that will be utilized empty-handed. Not to mention, it does change the overall concept of, are we truly a weapons-based system, or are we an empty-hand system that uses weapons to train? And how does that distinction really affect the way that we come across? Because ultimately, if we want this to continue, we have to get more people to, one, like it, train it, and then take it as far as they're going to take it. But I don't know if we're there yet. I still have so much more to learn. There's still so many things that are popping up. So my journey is nowhere near its end, and I hope to bring more people along with me. But again, these are just ideas that pop up, things that we come across when training, and I'm sure you guys have your own stories of how your weapons training has become different over the years, and the realizations and truths that you've come across that have really changed the way that you both view and do the arts that you hold so dear. Before I go, one more thing. The 15th of November, it's coming up. VEA in Manteca. I will be one of the 8 different instructors there. Can't wait to see you. It's a great time. If you show up, uh, do so. If you haven't already made plans to, do so as well. VEA Manteca. And if nothing else, stop on by for the food and the raffles. That alone is awesome, let alone the training, even more so. So, hope to see you there, and until the next one, 3, 2, 1, cut! I do really like blades though.